Alright, so, let's get to it. First, beginning the trial of the Great Ace Attorney, Case 5. So, let's go. When I awoke the following morning, Susato-san was already gone. Sad face. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets, and so began an even longer day than the last, one that I would remember for the rest of my days. We're back at the Old Bailey, 17th of April, moment of truth. Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. So where's your friend then? Sorry? You know, in a fancy dress. Sasato, or however you say it, I don't know. Oh, Mrs. Sato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up. You won't ride with that, are you? Forget about me if you like. Go and see her off. It's fine. It's not as though Mrs. Sato and I won't meet again one day. Even so, but you know, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Good morning, Tutu. Ah, Kitty! 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 How you feeling, Ginny? Did you manage to sleep? Anyways, what are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy? Waggy! Great way to show your support, kitty. I don't have a nose around. Well, what am I gonna do? Oh, that reminds me. I brought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Reno, Ginny? Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Yeah, I always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities. Let's not go there. Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning, and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move. Huh? The bad news was a weather report? So I hope the Susie made her train to Dover and that the train isn't delayed on its way to port. Gosh, yes. Alright then, so what's the good news? Well, the rain forecast is forecast to subside this afternoon. So if the rain is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it? I couldn't give a monkeys, really. If only all good news canceled out the bad. Ah, and look, this trial made the headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse splinter. See? How do you like that? Well, let them say what they want. See if I care. I can't, because you're covering your face. Don't worry, Bruno will soon show everyone that this headline is nonsense. I will. And now in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be Discharged Diver is Dauntless Good Do-Gooder. Isn't that right, Bruno? Yes, let's hope so. Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How is that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it? It's like she was still here. I mean, who's even gonna be my... Good luck then, Bruno. I'll do what I can. Huh? Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you more support and encouragement. I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you. Okay, so Iris is gonna be joining us then? Oh yeah, Iris. Yes, Ginny? Well, I was wondering, is all about Sholmes. Did they fix him up alright? Yes, the operation was a great success, but Hurley still hasn't come around yet. Oh. Eh? I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up. I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news. Oh, right. No Society and no Mr. Sholmes. It's all down to me today, to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime. Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense! The trial is about to begin! Please make your way to the courtroom! It's time then. Yes, let's go, Gina. Iris? Lead the way, Runo. Alright. We're getting some moral support after all. Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. If I've learned anything from my great friend, it's that. It's that. Okay. I wonder where the kitty is now. Alright. Oh boy, it is scary. Holy cow. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. Now I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. Lord Van Zykes. My lord, remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service? That was 2 months. It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware of that led to this erratic behavior? In what one might describe it as your former life 5 years had passed, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government. Really? Yet today you choose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, Counsel. I'm not sure if it really matters. There are two types of person I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. So that makes sense that he picked McGilded. He means Mr. McGilded if he defended against the Reaper 2 months ago. Yes, I just about managed to work that out, thank you. Magnus McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him. But he has the right to a defense. He had the right to a defense, so... And secondly, even more loathsome, those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East, the Nipponese. What? Did he really just say that? He means you now, Naruto. I actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Iris. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? The torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zyk's eyes. Is that directly so at me, or were they talking about all Japanese people? An alarming, scathing explanation, Lord Van Zykes. So literally, he's been picking these trials because of us. So the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Barely, feared by all London malefactors. Wait a minute. Hold on. Give me a second. about that. Anyway, future me, if you ever post this on YouTube, cut that out. Cut that part out. And comments remind me if I didn't cut that out. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defendant? Former Lieutenant of the British Army here, don't you know? Chops like me, we're bored ready. Yeah, we know him, and we definitely know her. Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think. But everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Everything. Absolutely everything, and I'm ready for it. I understand. I can't. It's not possible. Indispensable in society. Stop. Female-centric future awaits. Stop. What the heck? Wait a minute. Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take post to Crystal Tunnel, please. Is something wrong, Runo? Oh, not exactly. It's just that I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact. Are they really picking them all at red? Really? Funny coincidence like that do happen from time to time, don't they? But it is quite strange. The jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 billion inhabitants. You know? Wait, what? 6 billion? So I've been led to believe, but something tells me I'm being duped. Wait a minute. 6 million? That can't be right. That can't be right. You know, I'm gonna look that up. Okay, London population 8.982 million in 2019. Okay then. Okay. That just sounds very... That's a lot of people! The court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Windabank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print. The crime scene. Hiccup. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near instant death. Yeah, that should be about around the place with the heart. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. And what's that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say. Oh. The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report, a crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Indeed. The court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please. Okay. Alright, usual stuff. I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. The windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In the sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. The victim, Mr. Windabank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. We're gonna have to the jurors are gonna be, well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Isn't that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway? She's one of those filthy drabs that live in the slums of the East End. Oh well, it's only a matter of time before she got blood on her hands then. What are the jurors waiting for? Your girl's guilty as hell. Come on! We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive. Like, come on. My learned Nipponese friend, it is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Holy cow! Seriously? Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. Gracious! After their testimony, the girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pick purse or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth. The court will take the floor then to in firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zykes. At once, my lord. Oh boy. Single discharge. This isn't good. I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Runo. I think that's because it has. Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pup Winterbank on 16th April of this year. What in the heck? Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Name's National Skulkin. Occupation is baddie. Professional baddie. Name's Ringo Skulkin. Ringo Skulkin. Occupation, Samism. Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector. That's right. We're what they call the Three Skulkin Brothers. What are you looking at me for like that for? Don't love me with you lot. Oh, blimey, that's cold. Don't you know what we're going through? It's our older bruv. Lost contact with him we have. So we've been scouring every shady corner of the capital. And then last night we come across you. The very spit of the bloke. Isn't that right, Ringo? He is, Nash. He is. Very spit of him. So we decided there and then what we are gonna do. We was gonna call you Orange? Big bruv Sulky. Come on, leave it out, you two. Sulky Skulkin? And that's before he's run out of chips. Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson. Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias. What I would like to know, Inspector, is what are you doing in the witness stand? The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord. The suspicion of theft. Thieves they are. The three? Nope, my lord. Begging your pardon, but please don't let me in with this lot. 2 nights ago, these two brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle. And in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime. By Jove, you mean to say, what extraordinary coincidence! Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder. Oh, gosh. Order! Order! The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future. With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow. Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand. I wonder if that's ever been done before. Like, people who broke into a house to witness a crime. Like, huh. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw. Happy to! Cause a skulkin is never skulking! Get out of it. He does kind of look like them. A little bit. Okay, maybe not that much. We were walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the gaff's door was ajar, see? It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in. What it was? But what we got inside, called Blobby Lummy. Wait, a gunshot from the back room. We went to see what was what. Man, the door was locked from the inside. We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left out today, and nice and quiet. A terrible coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered their property, an even more sinister crime was afoot. No, it was a murder, not afoot. The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. Oh boy. The door provided room for the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within, only the victim and the accused were found. I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course. Counsel, if you please. Counsel? Yes! What's the matter, Runo? Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by the pair in the stand. I know it's all nonsense, because I saw it with my own eyes! I'll just have to expose their testimony, the pack of lies it is. Oh boy. The front door of Windibanks was ajar, you say. What time of night was this? Must have been about 1. Right, Ringo? Yeah, I'd say so. Right, Sulky? How would I know? The place would have been shut up once in the morning, just like every other shop in town. Well, walls pitch black inside, it's true. Ain't that right, Ringo? I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Sulky, me old mucker? Leave me alone. There definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place. And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of her gun trained on the unfortunate victim. Objection! That is pure conjecture. Perhaps, but it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder. Simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside. Right, that's what happened. That's what happened. It was like some kind of sign begging us for to go in, it was. Hold it! What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go in? Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say, don't it, Ringo? They do, Dash. They do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon. God's will often presents itself as a whim of thieves, does it? It weren't no whim. I'm dead sure of that. It weren't. If it weren't, Nash, it weren't. Like we said at the time. You don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah, there's no two ways about it. It was a sign our long-lost brother was inside. They're not very good liars, are they? Well, you can't deny it. They let us blow what looks like a bluff. I said, cut it out. Those tips are getting a chopping today. But once we got inside, called Blimey Lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room. Hello, Mario. A gunshot, you said. Just the one. Are you sure about that? Yup, just the one, Governor. I can swear to that. It was, Nash, it was. Ain't that right, bruv? The firearm used belonged to the victim himself. Yes, Mr. Windibank always used to leave his gun lying around on the counter. Right, I remember. When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds. That makes sense. Mr. Windibank always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded. That's true. I remember him saying that as well. So we could say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as a murder weapon. Yes, my lord, we can. And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the head of the accused. Wonderful. We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. Ah, frick!
Hold it!
Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom? If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. Excluding the shop entrance from the street, there's only one other door, that of the storeroom. Oh, you little that, betting? Not much to see by. And the door was in by the curtain and all. That is right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door? Eh? Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I should think. Oh, well, your turn to rabbit, Ringo. Well, Nash, yeah, I suppose you'd have to say we ain't normal, eh? Broadly speaking, humans respond in one of two ways on hearing a gunshot or scream. The timid flee, gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. These gentlemen are of the latter inclination. My learned Vietnamese friend, it would seem, is of the former. Alright! Somehow I just proved that I was a coward that night. Thank you, counsels. So, I believe we all understand that the door was locked and could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses. We never done nothing, governor. We never took nothing. We just left, frick. What do you think about this pair, Reno? I think they're lying through their teeth, that's what I think. And I'm gonna prove it. What is it, Iris? Well, I'm not really sure. There's just something a bit funny about the prosecutor over there. Huh? Wait, could this totally be some sort of trap?
Hold it!
Is he trying to trap us? You didn't do or take anything. Is that your story? It was Bedlam soon as weren't it? It was, that it was. Haven't had time to pull me dukes up out me Lucy lockets. So with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left nice and quietly, you say? That's right, Governor. Nothing we ain't more than violence. Peace, love, and nibblers. We are not bludgers. We are, Ash, we are. Everybody, you tell me Lucky Lawsons. Lucy Lockett. So you clearly like us to believe. Come again? As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person? Since a lot, they fired a gun, you say? Blimey, Governor! You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway? It was. Why the bleeding Nora? Did you mention that before? You were armed with a gun! And you fled the scene as you fled the scene, you fired the gun at London's greatest detective, Sherlock Sholmes! They shot the great Mr. Sholmes? I did hear that, actually. There's a rumor that he's been rushed to the hospital. The great Sholmes? That's beyond the pale. On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. Hehehe. I was searched. A firearm was indeed found in their possession. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel. The court will hold this weapon as evidence. Skulkin Brothers' gun. Now, my learned Vietnamese friend. Yes? Here's you successfully presenting the evidence. Well, yes, there are telltale signs of spent powder on this gun, and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial.
Objection!
Oh, you? Well, I don't need evidence, because I was there!
Objection!
Well, we do have evidence, though. However, the rest of us in the courtroom were not. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on. Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Windibanks that night. We have something. Don't claim they're fun with clear proof. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm on the pawnbrokers that night?
Take that!
The evidence is in this portfolio. What do you have there, counsel? During the course of our investigation, we discovered a number of bloodstains. Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do. How arrogantly Nibbanese of you. Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio. And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein? Yes, my lord. No more dallying then, counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene? Right here.
Take that!
What is that? Explain. It's a photographic print taken at Windibank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident. From the scene of the crime, is it? Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there. Yep. Indeed it is. Yes, as your lordship noticed. The bullet pierced Mr. Windibank's calendar. The date shall be the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. This had occurred at 1 hour after midnight. Was indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th. That's right. And while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbrokers that night. Ah! What the hell's the prosecutor said for their advice? If that is the direction my lawyer friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection. What? But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the streets. Eh? The thing is, Governor, you're gonna let us into the soup! Well, yeah, dude, you weren't gonna get into that details. Shut up, Sulky, get the book straight! I have nothing to add. So he knew, did he? Van Sykes knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes. It would seem now that I owe my Lord Nicony's friend a word of gratitude. Ugh! What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Sykes? As been established, at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brother's gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and the victim. In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windibank at all. So that's it. That's it, we didn't have nothing to do with it. We didn't, Ash. We didn't. That's what I reckon. The crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let's not forget, attempted murder. Quite a catalog, eh, fellas? Where for it now, bro? Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. It would seem the man patronized the the pawnbrokers in question somewhat irregularly. Where's it going with this? Mr. Schultz appeared to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery. Pleasure? Who? Not me, don't give me that look. He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop. Oh! That's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders. What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device. Every half hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device in the night in question. As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in quite desultory fashion. Rather prodigal, I feel. In fact, there are 2 such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer to the court to the plan of the premises, those victim positions are here and here. You say these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that that would-be criminal lingers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera. That's a bit of fried turkey, eh, bruv? Lady Luck loves a skulking. Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin? Eh? It must have been just after 1. Right, bruv? I bet yes. What do you mean? Yeah. Just one gun. In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment. What scene might we expect to see within this shop? Let us examine the evidence. Good lord! It's the defendant! Miss Gina Lestrade! Oh frick, this is not good! As the court can clearly see. Oh, great. The accused is pictured gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter. No doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom. Yeah, that is a bit blatant. What? Quite. One can only imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photograph as evidence. Did you please, counsel? Oh boy! I don't believe it, Ginny. In short, the accused is the only person who could have possibly killed Mr. Winterbank. Oh, great. I say, my lord. Wonder if I might put a word at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Took a bally bullet to the knee in the Battle of Maiwin in 1880, don't you know? Decorated for it and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, the medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point? Carrying on the battlefield retirement, you say the battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now, leading the small squadron, 6 men, all good and true. And we'll all go down together. Mark my words, one for all and all for one. Garrett, what is it, bruh? The ladies and gentlemen, the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we are to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? Manner of speaking, yes, that is the Garrett squadron's position, sir. What? No, it's too soon to make a judgment here. Status report for the court, men, on the double. It's all says on promptitude at all times, and that goes to making decisions, too. I think you'll find the truth is clear as day now. I could reach out and touch it. Well, I wasn't there. I just in all honesty. I can actually remember. Situation clear. Stop. No room for doubt. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop. I am very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky. Very well. I will now call on each member of the jury to state his or her leaning on in this matter. I now to consider verdicts to the court.
Guilty.
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 Oh, frick. Welp! Submission examination! It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous and is leading already. That photograph! It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned. But Ginny didn't shoot him. No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination. Very well, the court grants permission. So, you refuse to admit defeat again. How unsurprising. We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Forward, ready? Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. All the evidence clearly points the finger of guilt at this young pickpocket in. The end. As a houseman, I should like to see all filthy eyesore promptly, openly and rigorously eliminated. I think you'll find that if you look at the photograph in quick stereo, the truth will just pop out. I should think there'll be repercussions by now. Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission. The verdicts to follow. Stop. In Motherland, we see native jumpers by clothes, just by head, or convinced brothers are innocent. The circumstances described and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively. The storeroom, locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone. The accused's hand, the fatal revolver, firing of which was heard by these witnesses. Not to mention this print. Taken from the chap who's seen action in the battlefield. That young girl's on the verge of pulling the bully trigger. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes. Oh dear, Hurley. Those cameras were supposed to help, not hinder. I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you. But Cheetah didn't shoot Mr. Winterbank. Which means there's more situations that we've yet to see. Agreed. You have the floor, counsel. Proceed to with the summation examination. Defense's rebuttal. Let's go.
Hold it!
You're Mr. Natsume's landlord, Mr. Garrett, aren't you? We really must stop meeting like this. Ah, you're that lawyer chap. Well, does it turn up full of books? Yes, rather a turbulent time we had back then. Some extraordinary events took place at your house, that's for sure. Luckily, Mr. Sholmes and I were able to get to the bottom of it all. I think we did rather a lot for you, didn't we? I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be suggesting that therefore you should change your leading up to not guilty or anything. Can't be denied, I suppose. The girls at the Garrett house was the talk of the town after that business. Law just moved out and I couldn't get a bally soul to take up the tenancies. Oh. Haven't had the heart to break the news to Joni yet. Bad enough the old girl's clapped up. Yes, can't be denied. You did do rather a lot. But not for us, that's for dashed certain. I suppose not. Of course, there can be no suggestion of that being the reason An Lee was guilty here, obviously. But honestly, I really wish he'd pay more attention to the trial and less juror number 2. As a housemaid, I should like to see all of the eyesores properly and rigorously eliminated.
Hold it!
Polishing the bench, I see. Again. A maid's work is never done. Not a blemish must remain. What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores? On my way to the market for his lordship, I have to pass through the east end. The place is full of beggars, pick-purses, and crossmen, the scum of the earth. A little harsh, perhaps? Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those black slums would be made spick and span or eradicated. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals. You're referring to Mr. Herlock Sholmes? That's right, I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Rance magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London's streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital. Mr. Sholmes? A maid? It's really quite unforgivable. Gutter scum having the audacity to shoot our very disgraced detective. Minor detail, it was the 2 brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant. A minor detail indeed. They're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned. Well, it just might be an idea to get their facts straight anyway. Yes, alright. I shall amend my statement. Oh? Those brothers are the scum of the earth. They should swing for shooting the great detective.
Hold it!
I agree with you. The shooting of Mr. Sholmes was an unforgivable act. But the purpose of this trial is to determine who shot the pawnbroker, Mr. Windibank. I'm afraid you're splitting hairs, sir. Sorry? Whether it was the thieves or the pick purse, it was still gutter trash that shot the pawnbroker in the end. Filth that should be cleaned up and eradicated, in my considered opinion. Thanks so much for sharing. Changing this maid's mind isn't going to be easy. Bruno, it was one of the 2 brothers that shot Hurley, wasn't it? Yes, without question. Well then, I'll never forgive them. Oh, Iris, perhaps we could use this maid's statement to help us somehow. Do you think? Yes, maybe. Let's listen carefully what each juror has to say first. I think you'll find that if you look at the photograph in stereo, shoot, pop out! What do you mean, look at the photograph in stereo? Sorry, what? Don't you know? If you look at the photograph normally, it can look as though the pickpocket girl is about to shoot the victim, obviously.
Objection!
But there's no indication that the defendant ever fired the gun. All I'm saying is that if you look at the same print in the stereo, I can reveal all sorts of new information. By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes? Oh, how did you know? Let's call it a lucky guess. It never gets old seeing 2 prints merge into one before your eyes. It's extraordinary, it's captivating, it's the height of modernity. Of course. Oh yes, I think you'll find out that this stereoscope is here to stay, giving us 2 perspectives we could only dream of before. It's the greatest invention of the world has ever seen. If only it could give me new perspective on this case, I might agree with you. I should think they'll be looking for houses by now.
Hold it!
What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere, or something like that. Don't tell me that's the surgeon who worked on Don't tell me that's the same that's the doctor that worked on Sholmes. So sorry if you complain, I'm a surgeon. Oh frick, a surgeon? That totally passed me by. Of course, people conducting surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors, oh no. Even though me and my kind are on the forefront of medical sciences, the real brains of the field. So, what is it you think you've left behind? Oh, well, that's a little embarrassing to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday. Standard thing, went through the abdomen. But when I finished the procedure, I couldn't find my scalpel anywhere. Oh no. Surely not! Exactly, surely not, you said yourself. Don't you? Worrying, isn't it? That's what I've been telling you this whole time. Could I really have left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? No, of course I couldn't. So, there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really. That's one way of putting it, the other is manslaughter. That's exactly my concern, and seeing it as this case appears to be all but sewn up. I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what I've sewn up elsewhere. No, I'm not sure everything was back as it should be. Well, as sure as it can be without being sure. I'm sure you need to be more sure. Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission. Her verdict is follow. Stop.
Hold it!
Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean? Are you from the Far East? Stop. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey. Ah, but now we have the electric telegram, so we can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean bed, connecting the entire world. Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed? It makes my head hurt. Just thinking about it. That's true. You are well informed, young lady. The cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop. And just when I was starting to catch up. Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carrying over airwaves up to 4 corners of the globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmosphere electric. Stop. Right. Try not to wear out your fingers. Stop. Era wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What other piffle? I can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys.
Excuse me!
Excuse me? Juror number 3, sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but... What? Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess. Oh, you bet I do! Say that again! Go on! I dare you! Goodness, are you talking to me? I think he just might be, yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you, huh? Absolutely, I mean, really, a machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions? Why on earth would you not just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry, stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. You just don't know! Pardon? I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. What sort of possibilities? Well, take a crime scene for example. If you had a pair of photographs of a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you never even noticed before. What? Have you got any, Reno? Any prints we could look at with a stereoscope? I mean, nothing really springs to mind. But I guess...
Take that!
Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you could do this with any 2 suitable photograph prints? Of course I can. Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. I'll be delighted if you could give me one more print and I'll amaze you all. It's a sensational story as look, Ministry Mole classifies secrets leaked overseas by Ministry of Justice for a 10-year-old. Eris certainly has her finger on the pulse of the world news. It's about secret communication between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently, they're being intercepted by hostile nations. Communications are being intercepted, but how would someone be doing that? That's the question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Rita? No, of course not! Oh yeah. Oh, what Jargo was talking about yesterday. Yes, it could be. And that could explain why he has Grixie running from pillar to post. Punk road comparatively in pig pot plunder. How awful. For Ginny, I mean. but tomorrow's headline will be Discharged Diver. It's not a do-gooder, right? Yes, something like that. If possible, I'd like to go even bigger. Bigger? How? Proud pickpocket protects planet post-trial, perhaps? Protects planet. Oh, I can't wait for tomorrow now. It's gonna be so great. So, there's ammunition still loaded in 5 of the revolver's 6 cylinders. Yes, which tells us that only a single shot was been fired from it. Exactly. The bullet that hit Hurley effect, isn't it? Yes, it happened almost as soon as we walked in through Winterbake's door. I'll make those brothers pay.
Take that!
Wait, sorry. What do you mean, one more print? Oh dear, don't you have these in the Far East? Don't you know how stereoscope works? Bruno, what? You need 2 photographs for a stereoscope, remember? Yeah, you know, one for the left eye, one for the right. Oh yes, I remember now. But the print we have from the photography is just a normal photograph. No, I think you'll find a cool name in the stereoscope, not a monoscope. You always need 2 prints. Thanks for the friendly explanation. Well, if we obtain another print at some point later in the trial, we could always show it to this young man then. I think you'll find that know-it-all expression is really starting to annoy me. Let's get things back on track, shall we, Council? All we need is another shot from a slightly different location. We can... Hey, hold on, we said... I'm gonna brothers are innocent.
Hold it!
Please tell me you're not villain Bolshevik? The Russian revolutionary? Revolutionary? Nah, I believe there's such a rumor. It's just a rumor? As you see, I have unfortunate appearance. I look like vicious criminal. Your words, not mine. I just want to point that out. People call me revolutionary, murderer, autocrat. And which glove fits? Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take Boston Crystal Tunnel, please. Right. That didn't sound staged at all. You'll forgive me for having my doubts. To be treated like vicious criminal at the time is really painful. People do not realize. So I have most sympathies for these brothers. People say they are criminals only because of how they look. The Skulking Brothers? Maybe they went inside pawnbroker shop. But I have done nothing wrong. That's all I want to say. There's nothing wrong that night. Alright. That's one not so little misunderstanding I'll need to clear up straight away. Oh, did I hear this? What is it, Rena? The jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London town, aren't they? Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? In that case, how is that there's a Russian tourist sitting among them who looks for all the world like a revolutionary? I wish I knew. Is it even possible for non-American citizens to be called as a juror? I can't change the minds of more than half these 6 jurors. The trial will be over. But we know that Ginny would never shoot anyone. Yeah, so we need to find contradictions in what these jurors are saying and pit them against each other. I must be ready to go whatever lengths I have to and convince them of Gina's innocence. Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Good lord. Counsel, explain yourself. Oh my statement? Contradictory? Juror number 6, you've got the wrong end of the stick. I do not have a stick, I have mouse. As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulker brothers fled the scene of in the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear. Abdomen, ab, A, B, D. Sir? Sorry, my English is still learning. You are telling the court you didn't hear? Forgive me, I did not hear. Here is the word, abdomen, part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organ. If this is what you mean, you should say it in plain English. I am Russian, not native speaker. Who are... Frick. So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying? They said before we never done nothing, but truth is, they shot detective. Duh, that is double negative. Yes, it's exactly right. Lying is wrong, especially when lies said by a person who looks like criminal. Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced. This means when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also big fat lie. This is true. Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so... Enough, I trust no one now. It's not the mouse's fault though, sir. Put the mouse down! I must see with my own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself. I'm afraid that won't be possible. Yes it is, Runo. Easily. Sorry? With the print from Hurley's red-handed recorder. Ah! If you compare the print with the print that pictures Ginny and the next print from a half hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cooey, Mr. Prosecutor. Tut, calling on the prosecution in the middle of the summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulker brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the produced print by the camera half an hour later after the brothers' flight. So this was taken after Hurley was shot then. As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken. That does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. Stuff were moved! Stuff was moved! Stuff moved! So the brothers who look like criminals totally run lie. They shot man but stole nothing. In which seems so, yes. Good. No! Not good! You were right. I did not understand the situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think very important to continue with trial. Oh, thank you, sir. Yay! Well done, Runo. The balance is shifting. Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there's more in what these jurors are saying that I could use to expose the truth. And if I could do that, we just might turn the situation to our favor still. Thank you, counsel. Continue with the summation examination. And kindly hand the new photo record print to the bailiff to be found as evidence. Okay. Another print in the court record. I wonder if we can make use of that. The lake of lies are many a bitch. We must find through the best bit they not guilty.
Hold it!
Okay. can't understand. I really can't. They're just silly toys. Don't spare any feelings, will you? It's not like there's anyone here who likes stereoscopes. So why exactly do you think the defendant is guilty? It's quite simple. We haven't been shown a scrap of evidence to the fact that she isn't the culprit. And just as video waves dash through the skies faster than the eye can see, so we should dash to the conclusion of this trial and stop pandering to the indecision. In League of Blaze. I really hope that guy wasn't the one who was Ugh.
Hold it!
Did it really show up new clues though? No, let's try! How about this print here? That should do the trick.
Take that!
Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints? Of course I can. Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. I'd be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all.
Take that!
Alright, these 2 prints were both taken with the same camera at Winterbanks of the night in question. Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer, do you know how stereographic images work? Do you understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and right eye images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in the position of some objects. Then, when your brain merges the 2 objects together inside your head, it notices the shift as if there were depth. Yes, exactly. It's that small shift between certain objects in the 2 pictures that's really important. So what happens if you use 2 photographs that are exactly the same then? No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the scene 3-dimensionally anyway. Oh! Of course, now I see! I think the young girl discovered the secret! I have! Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me? Have another look at these 2 pictures from Hurley's camera. Bruno, go on. There's a... Can you see? Can you see there's a really obvious difference between them? Of course there is. There's 2 people in the first and those people in the second. Well, yes, I can see that straight away. But now, try looking at the pictures in 3 dimensions. Alright, I'll give it a go. So, to start with, you have to cross your eyes, then try to make 2 pictures overlap exactly. The problem with my, when I try to cross my eyes, there's a little shift upwards for me, so it's a little tricky. Anyway, I'm gonna try crossing my eyes. It's just, there's a little, I swear there's a little shift. When I cross my eyes, I can make the quill pens from each picture overlap in the middle. Yeah, there's a little bit of an overlap on top. I mean, I can also just show this by just overlapping the pictures together. There's a little bit of a shift. Yes! I see it! Actually, I see it. Wait. I can actually see there's actually a slight difference. Well, did you manage to see it properly, Bruno? Yes, I saw it. I saw it. Ah! What's going on with these 2 pictures? Some of the things in the cover sort of jump out at you. Yes! That's it, you see. That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes! Other amazing power? Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh? Why the deuce do some of these objects on the counter seem to jump out at you like that, I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question. Basic principles of the stereoscope? As I said before, if you try to look at two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't look at all. It's a slight shift in the positions of the objects that lets you see the pictures three-dimensionally. In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows that actually there must have been a slight shift in their positions. Yes, there must have been. I mean, you can easily see it. You can see it a lot better if you... Now hold fire there, sir. Got a reasonable grasp of the whole cross-eye business now, I'd say. But why the devil does a shift between the two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master. What? Me? I have the first idea! You know, Runo, it's quite simple. It is? Just think of it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 a.m. Then 30 minutes later, yeah, you can see there's a slight shift. Like, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. But the position of some items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means that sometime in the half-hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. Zuckus! Someone tampered? New information. Stop. Not mentioning testimony so far. Stop. Yes, we had to go around in circles a little here, it seems. But I'm starting to see what should I aim at in the summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom? Are you suggesting you might know? Of course. I can tell you right now who's responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter. These guys? There was the witnesses currently in the stand, the Skulkin brothers. This does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They say they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lucy Lockets. My phrase book says dukes is meaning hands and Lucy Lockets meaning pockets. Well, this is another lie? Is this what you're saying? Yes, I'm afraid so. Now, hold on there a minute, you can't be sure there. I quite agree. The accused is a common pickpocket after all. It's perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal. I think that's unlikely. And why exactly? As you can see from this photograph print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem that, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windibank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interests lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony. But the accused is a pickpurse! Come on, gotta trash! Why look any further with the wrongdoer here? Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact worse than a pickpurse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she's a pickpocket, would it not be at least right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given by two thieves? Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more about that shady pair. Yes! Can you all see now? I think you'll find stereoscopes are playthings. You've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand. I wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Most purchase after trial. Stop. We'll return home via Regent Street. Stop. Yes. We sold a stereoscope. Let's go. Well, it would seem this trial has yet to run its course. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call the summation examination to a conclusion with a balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 lean to guilty, 4 lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus. And I order this trial to continue. Yay, well done. Oh, by the way, what? You should hold on to this, Runo. You never know when it might come in useful. Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely, but alright. Yeah! Can we actually use it for its purpose? Lord Van Zykes, will you instruct the witnesses if the court demands additional testimony from them? I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord. Woo! We did it! We did it! I've won myself another chance to probe the pair about their activities that night at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proved that Gina is innocent! To be continued. Alright. Alright, that's one part down. Alright, I'm gonna take a short break. Gotta take a short break. But when we come back, I'll be back with more Great Ace Attorney. See you then. We're back. I just got myself something nice. I don't want to do any product placement or anything, or accidental or otherwise. But yeah, let's get going. Woo! Order, please. Let's resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand. Presume you heard the defense's counsel's summation examination? Oh, yeah, Governor. I did, Gov. I did. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Cool, blimey! This is going to be hard work. Now I know what a meatball feels like. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Winterbanks. Well, it was Bedlam soon as it was, wasn't it? It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out of me Lucy Lockets. You just say pockets. However, that was a lie. You brothers, caught blimey! On the night in question, you rifle through the items on the victim's counter. We never done nothing of the sort. How'd you figure that out? Ah! 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 You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time, you will tell the truth. Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. I thought with pondering perhaps. Say no more, God. We hear ya. We'll blab, we'll squeak, we'll preach. Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. It was when we heard the gunshots, see? Made us both jump and all that stuff went flying. Lummy, it didn't have give me a fright. Like, we was thinking the shooter come out the door and get us next. We stuck everything back where we found it in Scotland, straight back into the black. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we? So you admit to the defense's accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Winterbank's countertop on the night in question. Not ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tidied up, yeah. Oh, he's not gonna be happy. Oh, sorry. By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. So we said, we hardly sound like roughs at all. We don't, Nash, we don't. Can't even make us sound a bit more cutthroat. It can't just be coincidence that these men showed up at Winterbanks that night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it.
Hold it!
If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place? Well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we? We ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we admitted to something like that, the people would think we wasn't up to no good. Well said, Ringo. Mayo China, we only land ourselves in even more trouble. And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that is exactly what you've done. Landing yourself in even more trouble. That's rotten luck. Says the rotten apple eater. Witnesses. Explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter? We never ransacked nothing. Right, Nash, right. More like we tidied the place up. Sorry. It was when we heard the gunshot, see? Made us both jump up and stuff. We're flying.
Hold it!
So what you're saying is the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much you knocked all those things off the counter? Well, it shocked one of us for that much, yeah. The bag of nerves needs to keep it shut on. Look, it was loud, right? Blimey! Me dead granny would have woken up in that bang. Oh, poor soul. Big brother, like screaming like a blown baby, and fell over on the on the counter. He knocked over a load of books like a candlestick and some skull whatnot. I got tangled in some marionette. were knocked over the picture frame, were knocked over the scales on the floor. You've really mastered working quietly then. What a racket! My granny would have been scared back into a grave after crying like that. So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then some. I mean, it was quite as a mouse. And then all of a sudden, bam! Gregson.
Excuse me.
Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with those scoundrels. No, something to add about their testimony. You seem to react just now what Mr. Skulgan said. Did it make you think of something? It's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it, only, well, the fact these cases don't get solved and you ignore the little details. How about you just tell us what's on your mind? As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night. And the statement they gave then told a slightly different story what they're saying now. Get it? You claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have, Gov. Might have. Does ring a bell now you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. I kind of feeling like perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas? If I discover the witness' testimony has been any more sloppy than it hitherto proven to be, I should be forced to bring down the very harshest punishment to bear against them. Easy, easy. We got it right this time. That's it, yep. Don't come back to me now. Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs. Right you are, Gov. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun!"
Hold it.
Was it male or female? So in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously? We did, Gov, we did! Although, I suppose if you're being honest, we've heard a kind of wavering voice before the yell and all. If you don't want to get shot. Give me that gun! BAM! Kind of thing. A career in acting tragically missed. And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell? Of course we could. From the other side of that door behind the counter it was. From the storeroom, where the victim was found dead. And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Winterbank. On my great life, of course it was. On his granny's life, of course it was. So that would mean that you both knew Mr. Winterbank and the sound of his voice? Yeah, so that would be what? What, Nash? What? Any ideas? His counsel, indeed it would. Nah. We pretend like geezer. How am I supposed to deny it when the bloke is in the fence clobbering bubbles giving us the evil eye? If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true. On my granny's life it is! On his granny's life it must be! It's a good job his granny's dead. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor. You make it sound like we're clumsy. Don't forget we tied it up like good little boys. After the way I see it. Right, so you should have fired instead of yelling.
Hold it.
Wait, what? You're saying that Mr. Winterbank had a gun in his hands? Oh yeah, bet that was a sight, eh? Them two waving them guns at each other must have been pretty heated. I mean, just before he shouted, what he had the keys to say, if you don't want to get shot. Didn't really sound like he meant it. Damn, more like an empty threat, you could say. Mr. Winterbeck was known to keep a revolver in his shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keeping, he readily put a bullet in someone's head if required. That someone being himself, of course. Good grief, extraordinary devotion indeed, if alarmingly misguided. Well, it certainly sounded like he wasn't ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person was gonna shouldn't beat him to it. Cooked his goose proper. But he wished he squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me that gun!" I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna shoot someone, shoot him. And it was directly after those words that you heard the gunshot? It was more or less at the same time, Gov. Give me that gun! BAM! Kind of thing. Yes, a career in acting very tragically missed. And we heard the sound of someone hitting the deck. Before everything was dead quiet. And that done a slapdash job tying the place up. Lummy, yeah, give me a fright. We was thinking the shooter'd come on the door, get us next. So, you didn't try to open the storeroom door then? Not in your life! It went deathly quiet after that, it did. Was a wind run up me. Or anyway, the door was locked, wasn't it? No way it was opening. Yes, of course. It was locked from the inside. Or so we've been led to believe. It was, Gov, it was from the inside. Right, so we had no way of knowing what was going on in there, did we? Unless there was some other way to get a view of the inside of the storeroom, like through the keyhole or a spy hole, perhaps. Don't ring no bells, no lights, no lights. We had to cut and roll before we noticed anything like that. We're still cutting our teeth in this game, see? But one day, we'll really cut the mustard. Please cut it out. But as we know, behind that door was a victim's lifeless body, with the accused not 2 feet away. Yes, unfortunately, Gina was in there unconscious, with the gun in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither the two of you were set foot inside the storeroom? That's right, Gov, that's right. Couldn't have, even if we wanted to. We stuck everything back when we found it in Scotland, straight him into the black.
Hold it!
Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, yeah, it was a bit hasty there. It was, Dash, it was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up. You were shaking like a leaf? Don't If you're swinging like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand. Good advice, miss. Good advice. Truth be told, me mine went totally blank. Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand. Mental up, mate, miss. After that, we legged it down the street, but apparently we looked dodgy to the coppers or something. So they clapped the derbies on us like wicked. And after you've been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct? Well, yeah. But listen, that proves nothing, done it? We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never had the chance, did we?
Hold it!
And why should we believe that? What? Well, because it's true, ain't it? The place was totally empty when we went in. At that time, the victim was already in the storeroom, having been forced to open the door by the accused who had a gun in his hand. In other words, on the night in question, these two witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbrokery of Mr. Winterbank. Correct? You got it, mister! Down to a T! So the Skulkin brothers never actually encountered Mr. Winterbank. Is that really true, I wonder? That's it? That's the full extent of their testimony? What is it, Runo? You look very fierce. I could pour you some herbal tea if you're tired. Oh, thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical thinker, you'll probably laugh, but I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something important. It's something more than a feeling, though. I have no proof to support it. Well, feelings can be very logical at times. Sorry? People's expressions, the movement of their eyes, the words they choose. You can take all that in and your mind will quietly analyze it to come up with a feeling like you described. You concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why, that's all. I think you should trust your instincts, Iris. Thank you. Sometimes I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5. Yeah, really. But she was holding a gun.
Objection!
So you're saying that on the night in question, Mr. Winterbank was wielding a gun, is that correct? That's it, Gov, you got the picture. Yes, Nash. Yes, no question. And yet the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Winterbank was not in possession of a firearm in a description.
Objection!
You surprised me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more? Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic print presented was taken a suitably short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is clearly lacking, counsel. Yeah, that's right. Too right, Nash, too right. The old geezer could have been about to turn the tables on the girl, eh? Hardly likely. No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence. Continue with the cross-examination, counsel, and heed my earlier warning, witnesses. Oh boy. The skulk is never skulking. Okay. So that's a red herring. Never had a chance, but there was a door. Never a chance, eh? But... how do we prove that? You have to pop your two prints in here to start with, you see? And then when you look through the eyepieces, you can see the images in 3 dimensions. The important thing is to get right is the position of the 2 prints. I don't know who came up with the idea of the series, but it was really quite fascinating. Ooh, look at that! It's totally changed shape! Just from like one little button press. Well, that's what the button's for, Bruno. You're just like Hurley. You boys love pressing buttons, don't you? Guilty. Guilty. Especially if you don't know what they do. Us boys, says the 10-year-old girl! Anyway, now you know, now you can see that it really is a stethoscope, can you? Okay, stereoscope, can you? Not a stethoscope. You have to pop your 2 prints in here. Okay. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, you're not like putting your face in like that part. You're putting it in. Okay. Interesting. Maybe. I'll do a save real quick. I was thinking of like, there's clearly something odd about the last statement made by the witnesses. There is clearly something odd here indeed. Your behavior, counsel. Oh, please, don't mind me. That would be significantly easier if you will lower your hand. I won't lower my hand until I remove my conscience as long as it's quite quick. Let me didn't give a fright. We was thinking the shooter would come out the door and get us next. Well, wait a minute. Maybe this?
Objection.
Nope. Okay, there's 2 things that I have in mind. Either, like, cause... we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. I mean, you guys also had a gun, so maybe that?
Objection.
Oh, because that would have meant he was facing away from her. Frick. Oh, frick. Oh, frick. Oh, frick. So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Winterbank, was wielding a gun? Is that correct? That's it, Gov. You got the picture. Yes, she is. No question. And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Winterbank was not holding a firearm of any description. Hey, you what? Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection!
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Winterbank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as a murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. Yeah, that Molotov tool used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun! Bam! Kind of thing.
Hold it!
Stay exactly where you are, right there. Eh? If the crime scene had taken place as you so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness, are you sure, counsel? You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments?
Take that!
According to their testimony, the witnesses claimed to have heard a shout of "Give me that gun" followed by the gunshot. Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, if I could ask the court to study the photograph of the victim's body again, you can clearly see that Mr. Winterbank was in fact shot from behind. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. Schultz. Yeah! But it was going on his truth. It is. When we were shot that night, when he was shot that night, the shopkeeper had a gun in his hand, and it was with all bleeding eyes. Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Winterbank holding a gun. Somewhat like might have slipped out. Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun, which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulker brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Nash, yeah! Order! Witnesses, explain yourselves at once. Well, the thing is, we weren't supposed to, what? It was a scene that previous warnings fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witness would be the death of you. Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of the original testimony with renewed lies? Ever so sorry, Governor. The truth is, what was it? Cut out, Nash. Cut it out. If we blab now, you know what it'll do to us? Who are they talking about? Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There's no other option available to you. Bruv, come on, the game's up. But yeah, I'm a gosh, regardless. In case it hasn't been quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances in which this meeting took place. Well, yeah. Do we have to? On pain and death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. And nothing but the truth. Alright, so we just got inside the gaff and ate a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we had it. For no geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. Put my gun on him, and he legged it, and it threw the door into the back room. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear. You know, could it be that they ran into someone else? So now you're telling us the moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop. Well, yeah. Sorry. Well, if we find ourselves in an interesting juncture, this changes matters considerably. But honest governor, this time, we got nothing more to hide. Very well, counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord, this is it. The moment I've been waiting for. We got a big moment here. Oh boy. Alright, so we just got inside the gap in a sigh of relief with a geezer soda's mug. Can you say what this person looks like? When you say geezer, presumably you mean the victim and the proprietor of the shop, Mr. Winterbank? Who else? Sorry, I mean, that's right. We were keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously. But we never thought no one was gonna come out of the back room like that. The back room being the pawnbrokery storeroom? Yeah, that must be where he popped up from. Only place it could have been. So it seemed the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises. Which means Ginny must have been in there at least at that point as well. But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Winterbank in the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived? Oh, I don't know. Did you see the accused at that time? What a Tula? I couldn't tell you. No way, Cobbler. We had bigger fishes by then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and they flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we had it. You mentioned that Mr. Winterbank shouted those words in your previous testimony too. However, you claimed that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door. Oh well, did we? But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he? Well, yeah. Was the victim Mr. Winterbank wielding a gun at the time? Was he ever? Blimey lummy! The great ugly barrel he had, pointed straight at me front his piece. What you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Winterbank with a gun at the time, is that right? It is, Gov, it is. Spot on. Then all of a sudden, he came at us. He did. It was bedlam. I didn't know what was going for. Boom. You were clearly all going for each other. Like Ness said, we thought we had it, I mean. No geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He tucked me over the counter. Yes, I know that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too. Well, yeah, of course we did. He knocked me over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot. That got tangled in some marionette. What knocked over the picture frame? What knocked over them scales on the floor? So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter. Well, Big Brother went flying over the counter like a gunshot, I can tell you. Then the old geezer pinned him. He did as he did. If you hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a blooming pancake in seconds. At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via the secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There is a button under the counter to use to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right. When the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they? Poor Mr. Winterback, he did everything he could to protect the shop. I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room.
Hold it!
So, 2 counts of attempted murder? Were you intending to shoot Mr. Winterbank? Nah. Never. I was just, looking out for me, bro. One eye. It was being flattened, don't forget. By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. And then the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away and ran off through the door and shot himself in. There's something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true. I wonder why Mr. Winterbank ran away to the storeroom. What? Well, according to what everyone's saying, Ginny was in there waiting for him with a gun. Yeah, that's right. Gino allegedly used Mr. Winterbank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Winterbank's hands again? I have no idea, but that's so strange, isn't it? This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it. Look, the point is, me and my brother here. That's right, that's right. Me and my brother here. No, never have happened, I swear.
Hold it!
You say you had nothing to do with this. Nothing at all. Nothing, Gov. Nothing. The old geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he? Locked it. It was from the inside. We know it was because we tried to open it. But it's a decent door, that one. Good and strong. Wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. But it does, I think. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade. It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, counsel? I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could possibly have shot Mr. Winterbank? Maybe? Mr. Skulkin. Eh? What? What's that look for? For the moment you admitted that you encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely. It did? What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is, who could have shot Mr. Winterbank? And it's the belief of the first, the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan at the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be? Counsel, you must now provide answers at the court, in respect of 2 conundrums. 2, my lord? Twice as many chances to be right, maybe. Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time? I just said, my lord. I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I am sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the questions posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired the gun. In here?
Take that!
In here, mate? The defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. And an answer to the second question. Assuming the culprit fired the location indicated with the victim at the time. Out here, maybe?
Take that!
The defense believes that the victim would have been in this position here.
Objection!
What your answers in fact show? No, no, no. This is your own position is as absurd as those you've been indicated on the plan. What are you saying? What Lord Vanzex is saying, Council, is that your answers are clearly flawed. Ah! I knew it. It's twice as many chances to be wrong. So the questions are: from where did the culprit shoot the victim, and where was the victim at the time? Well. Okay, wait, I had my answers were, wait, what if it's the other way around that I'm thinking of? What's the best move here? Should I try again or gather more information first? Wait, give it a try. Well, well, you appear to be a glutton for punishment. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court the plan. Okay. So, like, I'm thinking, like, out here, maybe?
Take that!
The defendant believes the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here.
Take that!
There we go. The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Winterbeck died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear the body was moved after death, which means that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. True. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired? So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom. Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony, I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room. If Mr. Winterbeck ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time. It was precisely that moment that when the victim was fleeing for his life, that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial? Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means the victim was most likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. And we have someone, poor man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety. Of course, he would have been leaning forward as he was running away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered the body in an upward trajectory. So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Winterbank.
Objection!
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that if the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside, you claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock? Yeah, but what if someone else locked the door? Yes, there was someone else who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so? Well then, counsel, present your hypothesis to the court. In the scenario just described, the defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom, in which case who shot and locked the storeroom door from the inside? From what we know...
Take that!
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room? For what possible reason? Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck. I'm inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel? For her own safety. Yes, that's a tricky one, that, isn't it? Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom. Remember, counsel, remember that, please? But of course Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it? It does? Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Oh yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Windibank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at the time, but at some point, Mr. Windibank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom. Intruders, eh? That's us, bruv. If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then probably only moments later, the victim fled back to the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. When bang, the shot was fired. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windibank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment? I see where you're going with this. Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windibank. As soon as that shot struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
Well, we ain't want to do it. We ain't, Gov, we ain't. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on, we never shoot no one.
Objection!
You just did! That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would, because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Schultz. There is only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windibank's murder. Yeah, ah! Where does this leave us? You mean to say wasn't the pickpocket program at the time? I should have known it was those three brothers. They look at this forest. That was amazing, Runo. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now. I know, first time ever, and probably the last. Well, I think you've done it. This will give a verdict of not. An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? He's laughing? You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zykes. I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive. He's just gonna toss the... I dare say, such chicanery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pedophagy here. What? The hypothesis you put forward is so ostensibly credibly, but it cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failings? I say, Lord Van Zykes, might be an idea to explain this bully conjuring trick or whatever is the troops on the ground, The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets. By George, count bullets! Oh dear. He noticed then. Huh? What's everyone talking about? Counsel. Yes, sir? Tell the court. How many bullets were found at the scene of the crime? Two. 2 bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene. Oh, frick. Indeed, the defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. No, that could have been. Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know that there are 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Winterbank, and the Skulker Brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each. Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these 2 brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I think you'll find. But if the single bullet was fired, the brothers' gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means Mr. Winterbank not shot by the same gun. Stop, only 1 bullet, stop. Exactly. Yes, this Nepalese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Gang! Order! Ah, frick! Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery. I hope someone was not sitting there. Lord Sykes! But this...
My
Oh.
spleen!
Good timing on that. Thanks for the host. Anyway, but the court needs to open its eyes. The accused Miss Gina Lestrade is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she could regrettably no longer be described as a juvenile. No, this person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She is a past riddled with criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond the doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with a murder weapon. Yeah, it's just a nice little kimono I have. I almost dropped the controller. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc. I'll be taking that whatever it is Mr. McGilded down, like, whatever it is of Miss down to the yard. Thank you very much. No, you don't. Don't go there. It's mine. That is mine. I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to Mr. McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. Yes, that music box disc. McGilded's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Winterbank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her, and with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence. Look, gracious! Doesn't that fall under slander in some way? Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on the account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril. I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into the evidence council as a grim testament to the defendant's character. Lord Sykes, Yes, Inspector? We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service and, I think if we agreed that that disc wouldn't be used as evidence. What's all this about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Van Zykes at all. I am unaware of any such meeting. But those were the instructions! Right from the top, the government bigwigs were insistent! Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed. Bailiff? Oh boy. What is going on with this case? The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. There is nothing more to add. This doesn't look good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. I don't believe it. I have the jury on my side for once, and all 5 minutes. Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Bruno. My lord, wonder if I might say something at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. I've been stumbling about the fog up here now, and truth be told, but all of a sudden, the answer's pulled the office to me and my men. There's only one thing for it. Oh no. Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you present your leadings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
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 Oh boy. Not again! We have a consensus among the jury, it seems. Again! When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. That's my line! I wrote that for Hurley! God, how dare you use it against us! Your Honor, Iris, I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be something, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Winterbank. That's beyond any doubt. Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready? Jared F. Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined to the defendant be guilty. Alrighty then. Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Different breed of us law-abiding citizens. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted. You don't need to be a stereoscope. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. The accused attempted theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead. I'm a ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns. Okay. It would seem that there's a little remaining room for doubt. Have to admit, I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chap in black. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well be hoodwinked. Well, no more! The whole courtroom is turning against me! It's not fair, Iris. The prosecutor's being mean. Just because Ginny's done some things he shouldn't have in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage, while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Here's the truth coming out, eventually. Okay, let's do this. That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Alrighty then. Yes, my lord. Defense's rebuttal. Once a rogue, always a rogue, I'd say. Different brain drives the law. Just because Miss Lestrade has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder. Is that what you're saying? Well. Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge? I beg your pardon. Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces, the greatest military organization in the world? No, I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous. Well, yes. Might have a point there, I suppose. But let's not forget the girl had already showed she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal through and through. Can't deny it. When you say she'd shown she had it in her, are you referring to this? Exactly. Tried to swipe that only a day earlier, Or am I mistaken? Not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to dispute that. I've never actually seen the real thing. I can't wait to have a closer look at it. Oh yes, of course. Ow. Mr. Sholmes did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then he ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe. We still don't know what tune it plays, though, do we? But I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy. The Gilded Disc. Could it be a clue somehow? Perhaps we should examine it in more detail. Wait, what happens if you... I just had a thought. Like, is there... Like... No.
Hold it! Excuse me.
Oh, whatever you mean, sir. That last statement is playing on your mind, is it not? The only thing that's playing on my mind at the moment is the dull spot on the bench that I just can't seem to polish out. Perhaps you're better off polishing up your listening skills rather than the bench.
Hold it!
It's the number of bullets that has you convinced. Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings. Well, that's logical, I suppose. Although... Yes? Sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. One or 2 guests rather like to find china. Does your employer dine with thieves? So I suppose... If there was another bullet somewhere in which we were unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position. A 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene. Could that be possible? Not yet. Fortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by police during the investigation. Yes, I know. Right. And I don't imagine the good men at Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. If I missed a bullet while I was cleaning his lordship's office, well, I should receive a sound scolding, I don't doubt. And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps. It sounds like a crime scene to me. A 3rd bullet. It would completely turn things around if there was one, wouldn't it? Do you think we might find one lying around somewhere? You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here, but if you look at it, it was that pickpocket.
Hold it!
So if I understood correctly, you need 2 pictures, a left eye and a left eye one and a slightly different right eye one. Exactly. Then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions, like this! So if we have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them? I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the matter it's the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Think about it. The Skulkin brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes, that's been mentioned once or twice. Well then, sure, this is going into focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time. I'm not going to change this man's mind anytime soon. I never remembered that simple observation caused me such grief. Please tell me it's not Sholmes that he operated on. Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with the trial, sir? This defendant's life is on the line here.
Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that this has nothing to do with the trial, to be honest. I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but this bullet had simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think?
What are you talking about? I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery that you've been wondering about all this time. You were operating on...
What was the fellow's name now?
Herlick... Oh no! Herlock... No, Herlock... Herlock Sholmes by any chance?
Yes, good lord!
It was that Herlock fellow! What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes?
That's right. Using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It was fairly major op, I can tell you.
This is crazy!
Let me see. The fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went all over his insides with a fine-tooth comb and couldn't find the bullet anywhere. I'm afraid I just tried to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up.
I hate to say the obvious, but... Yes? Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting.
The counsel for the defense is correct.
As it is clearly shown in the photographic print. The bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region. Then exited his body and lodged in the shop wall when the calendar was hanging by the door. But what if it wasn't? I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally.
Huh, what do you think I am, son?
Well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do.
As soon as I saw the wound in the man's stomach, I would flip him over.
Like a pancake? Are you saying that you checked his back?
Of course I did, and there wasn't a trace of injury.
No sign that a bullet has left the body at all! There we go! What?
That's the point. The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. Exactly what I was said about slicing him up.
But slicing him up?
And I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it?
Can someone please explain how it happens? Can someone please solve this mystery? It's almost as much as a mystery as how this juror was put together.
The mystery of where the bullet ended up is infuriating. Where's the expert when you need one?
Aren't you an expert? Mr. Sholmes' surgeon is on jury. I've experienced some coincidence recently, but this is ridiculous.
I'm as surprised as anyone.
There's no question that Mr. Sholmes was shot.
Shot? Well, that's what the police told me when they brought him in.
How was his injuries, Doc?
Doctor? He was in a bad way. He lost a huge amount of blood, you know. I suspect he was shot at quite close range too, because his skin was badly burnt around the point of entry. Burnt. As I said, I flipped him up, fell over, and examined his back. There's no sign of an exit wound, which is why I thought I'd better look at the lung and pop it out.
And yet you say you found no bullet inside the patient.
Well, I wouldn't have done, wouldn't I? Because it's in the wall of the pawnbrokers. But how did it get there? I need someone to solve this mystery before it drives me into insanity. I thought there was some expert in ballistics who could help, even if you look extremely untrustworthy.
So we have a disappearing bullet on our hands. Don't we have an expert on hand? The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. You can see it for a busy day ahead. What do you mean you're in for a busy day? Forgot to say stop. Do excuse me. Stop. I'm a communications officer. Stop. Communications officer? Does that have something to do with sending telegrams? Everything from personal messages written by members of the public to the latest news in the capital. I would convert all the messages into Morse code and tap it out to the entire world electronically. To the entire world? Thousands of miles of cable under the sea. Stop. Worldwide communications network. Stop. Information transmitted to and from all over the globe. Stop. Yes. She was getting equally worked up over radio waves, or like, before was she? I specialize in communicating information from government departments to newspaper offices. I see. I'm sure I shall have to wire the newspaper reports of today's guilty verdict later. So, no sleep for me tonight, I imagine. Let's just finish the trial first, shall we?
I'm a ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings, so there's nothing I do not know about guns.
Hold it!
I thought you were just a tourist.
Good day, I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take most to Crystal Palace, please.
If so, he's just a visiting tourist. So, you're a ballistics expert? Who knew?
I have much experience with guns.
Ah,
I have lived through many, how do you say, extreme, violent bath of, no, blood of,
extreme bloodbaths, perhaps.
those, extreme violent bloodbaths. English is very difficult tongue.
Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue.
Anyway, if you have questions about bullet and guns, you ask me. There is nothing I do not know, no mystery I cannot solve.
He's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure.
But if possible, please only in Russian language.
He's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he? No, still, we should bear in mind, he's our man to the mystery about guns or bullets. And we got a mystery on our hands. Ben Sykes has managed to convince everyone. When you have eliminated the impossible, he said. But he hasn't. If we're going to fight back, we need more material. And we have to fight back. We have to fight back. We have to turn this trial around again.
Objection!
So how about those two statements clearly contradict the idea that the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other.
Oh, a ballistics expert! Pitting, P-I-T-T.
On the night in question, Mr. Schultz was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume that the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Schultz's body either. Furthermore, maybe it's in his, pooper? A bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Schultz was shot. Juror number 6.
Hello, my name is Dylan. Pleased to meet you.
This apparent contradiction in the facts is so very clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery?
I have seen very similar situation in Motherland. Huh? It was night. There was blizzard. I was running along mountain road in freezing cold. Golly. The snow was piling high on both sides of the road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and they were on dog sleds.
Mental note, don't ask too many questions.
I was shot from behind and I fell down in snow. And this situation was really similar to what I heard today from doctor. They could not find bullet in my body, and no sign of how to say exit wound.
Then where'd the bullet go?
Bullet never hit me.
Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down?
Bullets hit frozen wall of ice really close to my side.
What?
One small piece, really sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wound that looks like bullet wound.
Wow! Good gracious!
Well, of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me.
Wow! I can believe that!
And the solution to the mystery of disappearing bullet.
But that doesn't answer the question at all! The shooting happened in a pawnbroker shop. That's up snowy mountain road in another country? Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. Bruno, where exactly was Hurley shot again? Well, according to the report, in his stomach, just around this area, I think. Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt. A pouch? Actually, I may have noticed something like that. Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3-class files, files of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations. What? Really? Doctor, where's the pouch that Mr. Schultz was wearing?
Well, Marcel had nothing like that in his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember.
If I may.
Reverend Zykes?
When I realized it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination, I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? And as I understand it, when the police arrived at the scene and found Mr. Schultz injured, they removed the pouch in order to access the wound.
Oh, thank goodness! I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment.
Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred.
Very well. While extremely unconventional during a summation examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Herlock Sholm's pouch. I see. So this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it?
One is missing and broken!
Look at that! One of the files is broken, and the leather around it is scorched black! It's almost as if the file exploded! Exploded? So, that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch. And if the glass file exploding that caused the fellow's injury,
The bullet did not penetrate victim, but was deflected into a wall of shop. Possibly, but I want to examine that. I need to examine that. A delightfully complex aroma. Well, it would appear that one mystery has been solved at least. Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered.
well, at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man.
But what about the scalpel? Thank you very, very much. Glad I could help. Due to its bearing on the conundrum to solve, the court will request this scruffy pouch as evidence. Bro, this pouch isn't scruffy. Come on. I need to look at that. Now, the summation examination. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion. Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, this new piece of evidence. It could be valuable clue, as you can't afford to overlook anything here, Marinosuke. There's still a way to turn this around. Somehow, I'm sure of it. Ah, frick.
Excuse me.
Is everything alright, juror number 4?
Everything alright. Let me help me the way I'm doing.
So, is something troubling you?
Of course something's troubling me. Everyone could tell that just by looking at me. Don't tell me how it knows me worrying, but make it as always I probably can.
Sorry?
I mean, it's nothing to do with the trend, of course. It's a personal matter.
Well, tell me you haven't noticed that everyone else in the courtroom is focused on the trial. I am ballistics exposed. Okay. Court record. Let me look at this. Huh. Well, there's the bullet hole. It's really scorched badly in here. Oh, the strap is broken. Look! It must be where the bullet hit. Then, let me see. The bullet! Gotcha! What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was, do you see it? That's the Skulkin Brothers bullet! What a stroke of luck that hit his pouch! This is an amazing discovery. Though, too bad that Holmes still had to be opened up. What this means is there were 3 bullets fired at Mr. Windibanks that night. We found exactly what that juror was talking about. The 3rd bullet! Time to press that juror again, I think. Yes! We got it! We got it! These glass files are full of Harley's homemade potions. Homemade? Yes, like fingerprint powder to show where people have touched things, and scent amplifying solution to intensify the smell of lingering on an object. That's amazing. They're all very easy to use. There's just one thing that you have to be careful of. They're all very flammable. Mr. Sholmes is a walking bomb. Either he's passionate about finding out the truth, or just oblivious to the dangers. We just figured it out. Oh look, there's a hole here at the back. It doesn't look like much of a bullet hole, but clearly something ripped through the leather with great force. Something must have pierced it somehow to make left this hole behind. If it looks that way, Mr. Sholmes and his pals both took a beating, didn't they? Wow. Wow. This is the bullet that was fired from the Skulking Brothers' gun on the night of the incident. Yes, so it turns out it never actually entered Charlie's body at all. Thanks to the thick leather that pouch he was wearing, it saved him. Charlie's always lucky like that. Well, considering what he had to go through at the hospital, I wonder how lucky he really was. Oh dear, poor Hurley. Oh gosh. So, juror number 2. I would like to press you.
Hold it!
The number of bullets that has you convinced. Okay. I can prove it! Allow me to show you then, the 3rd bullet. There you go. Take that.
Take that!
Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question in Winterbank's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired.
Hold it!
What is this new trickery, you deep-in-dazed conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to hospital. And since then, it's been touched by no one. Do you really, you mean to say, the shot fired by the Skull Brothers that night? Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch. But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print. 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence. Yes, that of Mr. Winterbank and that of belonging to the Skulkin brothers. And an examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. But that must mean... That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from guns recovered from the scene of the crime. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained... Okay. My sound just cut off on my end. We cannot and must not pass judgment! Ugh. Ugh. Holy cow! Order! 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 Well, the summation examination remains incomplete. The court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination. By Jupiter! What? Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once. Witnesses. Governor, were you listening to the proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination? We was, Governor, we was. Perhaps we can dispense with the tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A 3rd bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Make of it, Gov? I don't make nothing of nothing if I can help it. Is it one of yours? God blimey, Gov! God blimey! Not a chance! In that case, did you have an accomplice? What? What? Never! The Skulker brothers work alone! It's just the 2 of us! That's a trademark! How soon we forget poor Sulky? Only two bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have evidence. The 3rd bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Lummy, that's an egg. That's an head scratcher. Counsel for the defense. Yes? I should like to hear your thoughts regarding this these new developments. The third bullet and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came. Thinking over all the testimony we've have heard, all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear what the third bullet tells us about the Salkin brothers. I think it's something to do with them. I believe it has nothing to do with them. Eh? That's right! Yeah, nothing to do with us, Gov. We've established that one bullet was fired from each of the two guns already known to the court. The logical conclusion, therefore, is that on the night in question at Mr. Winterbeck's pawnbrokery, there was another person present in possession of a third firearm. Whilst the brothers may have had nothing to do with the third gun or the bullet fired from it, it's inconceivable that they had nothing to do with the third man. Yes, the brothers were working with an accomplice who was carrying a gun. An accomplice, you say? Pig swill. These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there has not been a murmur of a third man, if this apparently wraith-like being exists. The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence, that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly, the identity of the spurious character. The Skulkins are lying, I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? Oh, counsel? Supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice, and reveal the person's identity, even in response to the prosecution's demands, my lord. Defense's... Wait a minute. Hey, Iris, can we look at this? Oh, Bruno, look! This is blood! Yes, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before. Then it's my turn to shine again. Please be green. Please be green! In a flash. Yes! Please be green. Please be green! Yes! Yes! It's green! A lovely bright sheet again! Yes! I got evidence! That color. It's just that green, it's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? Yes! Yes! We got it! We got it! This is the evidence we need. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. So, my devious friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it will make a difference. In that case, counsel, I would ask that you present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene?
Take that!
The evidence is this. You perplex me, counsel, by looking so pleased with yourself despite the quite displeasing answer. Wait, what? Very front of the neck for it, my lord. It seems that nothing as though it were something. It is a favorable trick of the Neat conjurer. Well, I think it takes a certain genius to give such a completely wrong answer, personally. The kind of genius I wish I could do without. Time to think again. Okay, I need to save right here. Otherwise, I am dead. Okay. Then it has to be the blood samples.
Take that!
Yes! The evidence in question, evidence is right here in this portfolio. By Jove, that portfolio again, is it? Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. You claim one of those blood samples proves the presence of the third intruder. Well, which one is it? This one.
Take that!
What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around Bullet Hill in the middle of the calendar. That's a bloodstain, my lord. A bloodstain? Green blood, curious even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some unhuman creature? It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Why, the great detective? New invention, stop, not yet appeared in stories, stop! It's this, you see, it doesn't have a name yet, though. This fogger sprays a chemical that reacts with the different elements in people's blood that changes color. Different elements of people's blood? Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is. Oh, that brings a whole extra dimension to looking at blood. Talk of blood in courtroom style, very exciting, stop. As an example, this one shows blood of the victim, Mr. Windibank. Ah, a striking blue. Yes, so you see, the green color of this blood stain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop. Now hold fire there, young man. Could be from some unrelated incident, couldn't it? No, it's not unrelated. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windibank was killed. By golly! Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day. But whose blood is it? Well, the Skulker brothers and the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who's the alleged third intruder? Egbert Benedict.
Take that!
The man's name is Egbert Benedict. Egbert Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about, counsel? He paid a visit to Windibank's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place. When the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Egbert Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. Broker. Wait, I need to... Broker. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pocket thief just redeemed an article from you, no? Yes, sir. The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. And needless to say, any music box discs too. Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc. Did you corroborate this account, Inspector? Yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. And in the interest of being thorough, I asked Mr. Windibank for a print showing the fellow. Yes. Taken from one of his red-handed recorder Gubbinses. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windibank at the moment, in the morning. As you claim, this man is the brother's accomplice. Well, Mr. Skulkin? Never seen the geezer before in my life. All me life, Gub. All me life, never seen him. Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion. I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned legalese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Yes, I can! Then show us the evidence. I agree. We must see proof of the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is. We got it! We got it! This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start, but now I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom. You ready to present your answer to the court then, counsel? Yes, my lord. My defense will present the evidence now. Proof that the man in this photographic print was in fact the person struck by the third bullet. Take that!
Take that!
As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windibanks, which is when the aforementioned Egbert Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no? That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. She swiped it and cut his finger. Well, of course, sir. Here's a disc for you. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute. That disc is mine. Ah! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You blood, you filthy animal! Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions caused Mr. Benedict's fingers to bleed, and the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now. Goodness, a bloodstain, is it? My assistant and I just analyzed the bloodstain here, in this very courtroom, using my trusty fogger gun. Yes, and we had added the results to this portfolio. I say, it's green. It's exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Egbert Benedict, who was in Windibanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime the same night. So there was someone else there. Look at the two brothers now. They're splitting buckets. Oi, what are you talking about? It's boiling in there. My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Egbert Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify. It would certainly seem that we could ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone long enough now, this flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. But we've Herlock Sholmes, you say. Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes, a god of detection of some sort. And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest court in the land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color. Well... And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it! Is he right? Mr. Sholmes' concoction a load of rubbish? I don't know, I mean, he's a great detective. What are you talking about? We can't let him get away with that! I know it would come to this. Of course Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice did I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination. In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it? Good grief, what did you just say, young girl? In the summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So, the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for me now. Yes, she's right! Young lady, you have quite a devious mind. It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Runo. Is that about right? What did you say? Or did I misunderstood something? Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with! Iris Wilson, sharpshooter. After that shrewd presence of the situation from an entirely
unexpected source. It must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court is now looks for you for your final leadings in the matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to a fair and just conclusions. Yeah. So then, state your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
Oh boy. Oh wow. 2 calls guilty and 4 call not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection.
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage! The prosecution refuses to accept this decision! On what grounds? If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by pretending to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt! I'm sorry, Lord Van Zykes, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. The trial will continue. Holy cow, we're actually putting chinks in his armor. Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible. What? The name of the gentleman gave for himself, Egbert Benedict, is quite clearly false. I don't believe it. Just when I managed to prove a man was there that night. Could I say something? Who was that, please? Who spoke? It was me, my lord. Juror number 5. What have you to say, madam? If possible, Inspector. Ma'am? I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again, to the one which the gentleman is shown. Right, yes, this one you mean, of Mr. Benedict. Does she know him? Yes, there's no doubt in my mind. Juror number 5, you don't mean to say you know this man? Yes, I know him. What? No! Good gracious! Holy cow! She freaking saved us! Order! 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 Juror number 5, how on earth? I am a communications officer. Stop. As we can clearly see, the gentleman in the photograph is... Stop. Also a communications officer. Stop. He works in my office. Stop. A very talented operator, in fact. Stop. He should be in communication station now. Stop. Tapping away on the telegraph. Stop. This doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right. I suppose we all imagined that the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out he has such a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night. Yes, I suppose that is. That's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong. If the gentleman is at London Communication Station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Van Zykes, if you please. Yes, my lord. Make the necessary arrangements, with all haste, as your lordship bids. The court will be recessed for 1 hour. Then, when the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene and to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson. Yes, my lord. I should like to hear from you specifically about events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Come to my chambers during recess. Yes, sir, my lord. Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m. Oh, cow! We freaking did it! Woo! 2 parts of a case done in two parts of the trial. We did half the trial in 1 day. Nice. Whew! That was tiring, but holy cow, we're getting deeper into this. Tomorrow, we're finishing Case 5. Case 5 will be finished tomorrow. So until then, well, but first,
we need to make a stream, or we need to make a raid. We need to do a raid, and what's the raid message even gonna be? Mm, 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 mm. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. Blah, blah, blah. Well, I guess Tim just, like, closed off early. Well, in that case, I guess we'll raid good, trustworthy Liam 6. Alright, we'll be rating Liam 6, and I guess Phantom Bullet. I guess I don't know. Anyway, have a good night. Tomorrow we're going to be finishing it.